Hi folks, you can see my battery's all charged there. It is 5.6 degrees Celsius, about 2:30-ish, 2:45. That says 49 degrees. I think that's optimistic because the sun's shining on it. I think 42 is a lot closer. Alright, well, let's do this. eBay. There are a couple of things I wanted, particularly after the last blackout, the last time we were without power. If my son was home, so I had him turn the generator off when it was time to go to bed. But when my wife is home, she could not do these things. The generator is also, that one there is horrible on fuel. Burns, even when you're not working it all that hard, burns about a half a gallon an hour. The other one, the yellow one, it's over there. That one's a little better on fuel, but it too is not the greatest thing in the world. It burns somewhere a little over a quart an hour, around a quart an hour, depending how much you're running it. This thing here, supposedly on a tank of fuel, if you're asking 400 watts out of it, will burn about 8 hours on a gallon. So that's less than half the fuel consumption. Not that I worry about the fuel consumption for the price of, or the cost of the fuel. Worry about the fuel consumption because getting the fuel. This is 2200 watts starting, 1815 or 1800 continuous. This is a Ryobi. I have a bunch of Ryobi tools that I've been happy with. So I picked it up. It's got a little handle. You see the person here. You pull the handle out and walk along with it. You can charge your battery. You can parallel kit it if you want to. Super quiet, all that kind of stuff. I was figuring I could put this thing on the back deck with a tank of gas and basically plug in the pellet stove and the TV and just let it run, and it could be left unattended for long periods of time. These guys here, they make me nervous about leaving them unattended. That guy there has some unbelievable start current. It's excellent with the well, but once again, the fuel consumption. That guy there, it's one of those China ones, similar to the Predator, similar to Champion, similar to, it's your, I don't know, $300 to $400 3,500 watt Chinese generator with an electric start. It's been good to me, but it's to the point where it's probably got, between me and my friends running it and all that, it's probably got like 300-400 hours on it. I'm not sure how long it's going to go, and basically I guess this is, I'm going to call it the replacement for that guy in there. So you know why I bought it now? What I want to do is, I've been looking at generator reviews, and guys for generator reviews do really smart things like, look, I bought a generator, and they point at the box like I'm doing now. And then they go to they show you how to put oil and gas in it, and tell you how this is a Home Depot $5.99 type deal. With tax and all, it would have cost me $6.50. I bought it on eBay. It was $4.50 plus 36 shipping, so $4.86. So it was almost $2.25, $2.50 cheaper than it would have been at Home Depot. Though I think this is last year's model, and I think it might have been an open box. I mean, you look at the tape here. I smelled the gas cap. I smelled this. I mean, it appears, doesn't appear, I mean, there's a faint whiff of gas, like maybe factory, but that's it. I mean, it has the book, and I don't know, the little handle. I got to make sure the cable's in there for, you know, for charging batteries. That cable there, right? That's really the only accessory, it looks like, the instruction book and the cable for charging batteries. So there it is. When I do a generator test, I have one of those kilowatt meters that I plug in there. Then I, you know, put somewhat of a load on it, and we watch to see what power does, what the electricity does. First of all, I want to see, like with a slight load on it, a light bulb, I want to see that it's, you know, somewhere around 120 volts, and I want to see that it's somewhere around 60 cycles. What the waveform looks like, I don't know. This thing says it's good for electronics. I'm hoping. So I've run the electronics, the plasma TV and all on the China guy over there, and they ran fine. There was no, you know, lines or you know, blooming or any of that kind of stuff. So from a waveform, I'm hoping that it's doing everything it should be. It's kind of hard to look at waveforms, especially with generators, when you're putting different loads on them, right? You can end up with other interesting stuff. But anyway, yeah, most folks, like, you know, fire it up and say, look, I can run a drill. Well, any generator can run a drill, including one of those little 2-cycle things. Right, so running a drill is not where things get interesting. Where things get interesting is when you have, you know, somewhere around, for that one, call it rated power. I'm going to put a 1200 watt load. That's probably as high as I'm going to take it. If you have rated power on there, what is the frequency? What is the voltage then? Or, once again, if you have it lightly loaded, let's say I only have the pellet stove on it, I'm really not going to want that thing to be pumping, you know, 150 volts into the pellet stove. The number of cycles is not all that important, but I don't want it to cook my pellet stove electronics. Right, so that's what you worry about: how well it regulates its voltage and how well it regulates its frequency when it's under a load and when it's not under a load. The little 2-cycle one, I did a video on it a while ago. Maybe I'll get it out and do another video on it that's a little more organized. The little 2-cycle one, it does a pretty good job with the voltage, especially as you approached full load. And the frequency even got better as you approached full load. But when you lightly loaded it, it was putting about 135 into your electronics, and it was putting, the frequency was all over the place. It kind of went up and down. I think it went from 58 to 65. And once again, with the high voltage, I'd be nervous about pumping that into, you know, a $500 big screen TV, or my cable box, or my computers, right? One doesn't need to send them out to Valhalla because you had a blackout, and now not only do you have a blackout to contend with, but you got dead electronics to contend with. Also, more modern refrigerators, mine is an old Montgomery Ward's, but more modern refrigerators also have quite a bit in the name of electronics. So you don't want to plug your refrigerator into something that cooks it, right? That murders it. Because now, back to modern refrigerators, they easily cost approximately $1,000, give or take a few hundred. Okay, folks, so you can see I got it. I'm going to unbox it and fuel it and oil it and, you know, fire it up. I'm probably going to run it for a little while with a light load on it, you know, just to kind of break things in. Maybe I'll put a couple 100 watts on it. I have one of those light bars that in the old days they used to use. You had a 8mm camera in one hand and the light bar in the other. And that's how you did family pictures, you know, telling everybody to smile. And I don't know, your typical length of a Super 8 movie was maybe 5 minutes. So you held the light bar once again in one hand and the Super 8 camera in the other, and you shot videos like that of your family or anything else you were into, whatever your preoccupations were. So anyway, I have one of those light bars, and it's handy because you could just screw light bulbs in, right? You could screw in 100-watt light bulbs one at a time, and each time you do that, you put another 100 watts on the generator, and it's easy because you just turn it. You could also put CFCs in there, compact fluorescent lights, CFLs in there, and now you can see how well the generator does with there's an angle between voltage and current, and if you don't get that angle right, compact fluorescent lights don't start all that easy. That's why on solid-state inverters, you run on the 12-volt batteries. A lot of times that angle isn't quite right, and that makes it hard to start compact fluorescent lights, especially if you're trying to start a bunch of them all at the same time, right? Each one of them moves that angle out a little further, and the next thing you know, the bulb won't start. That's anyway. Enough electronics, folks. I want to thank you for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down and keep your head up. And please, please enjoy all your days. You know, you only get so many, so make sure you enjoy them one at a time. And, thank God for your blessings. Help out your fellow man and go forward with your lives. Take care. And once again, thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. Bye.